Hey everyone, Frugal Panda here. This is just a random drive of mine that I did when I was camping, and I had all this footage left over from when I did a review of a tent and I went camping for a day or so up by Fort Collins, past Fort Collins, closer to Red Feathers Lake at Chambers Lake to be specific. And so I had all this footage, and I was just about to erase, and I started thinking, you know, maybe somebody wants to see it. If someone's curious, especially if you've never been to Colorado or there's parts of Colorado you haven't been to if you have been here. So, like I said, this is coming back from Red Feathers Lake area, going back to Fort Collins area, technically back to Denver. But this is just an example of my drive, what it looks like in regards to driving in certain parts of Colorado. Now, not all of Colorado looks like this. Don't let me confuse you, make you think that. Sometimes when you get to the eastern part of Colorado, it looks a lot like its neighboring state, Nebraska. So don't think well all of Colorado is like this, but a large part of Colorado is like this. So it's something to think about in regards to if you want to take a trip here. Colorado is a very beautiful state. Everyone thinks their states are beautiful. A lot of places I've went, I'm like, your state's really not that nice. Yes, you have this particular thing, but that's about it. Then other states are gorgeous. California is an example of a beautiful state. If you want desert, you got desert. You want mountains, you got mountains. You want ocean, you got ocean. You got green winery areas, all that good stuff. You got all that. That's a beautiful state. I'm not going to tell you the states that I think are not that pretty are really just this type of state you just drive through and you keep on going. I'll leave that to other people to do that. But there's states I will visit, and there's states that I'm like, whatever. I got to go through. I got to go through the state to get somewhere else. But Colorado is not one of those states. Colorado is not a flyover state. And a lot of you guys, everyone out there knows what a flyover state is. A state basically you fly over on your way to your actual destination. It's a state you don't think about stopping in. Even some of those flyover states do have some really nice areas, but there's a reason a lot of them are flyover states. There's not enough of those areas. Colorado is not one of those states. Colorado is a state that's got the mountains. We got beautiful lakes. We're not Minnesota in regards to like our lakes and stuff, the sheer abundance like Minnesota and areas like that have. But the mountain areas, the different types of things that are to do out here outdoors. Colorado is that state. It's one of those states that there's a reason people flock out here. They come out here, by the thousands every year to live in Colorado because they've heard about it, our way of life, how we live. And I'm talking a lot of times about the I-25 corridor and then the mountain areas of Colorado too. The jobs, we have lots of jobs. We have high paying jobs. The cost of living is more expensive out here, but cost of living is more expensive because people want to live here. We have strong education system. You know, our crime in comparison to a lot of places is pretty low. I mean, some people out here say, "Oh, God, Denver's like this and that." Don't pay attention to those people. I don't ever pay attention. I don't even pay attention to what people tell me when I go visit places. When they tell me in regards, "Oh, crime is out of this," and then I go there, and I'm like, "Man, get out of here with all that." It's nothing like you said it was. Yes, in the cities there is crime, of course, but it is nothing, nowhere near a lot of parts of the United States. So a lot of people move here. A lot of people commute into town. You want small town living, you get small town Colorado, but you can get small town Colorado that's near civilization. So you can be within an hour or two of an actual city and have all the amenities that you need. This is just a simple drive, everyone. Whether it's here, whether it's going to Oregon, whether it's going to Washington, whether it's when I hit California and I start getting to the areas I love about California, there's something about driving. And a lot of you guys out there know what I'm talking about. Whether it's on a trip, whether it's just you want to drive, something about driving if you live in like gorgeous states or like beautiful states, it's relaxing a lot of times. Now a lot of people that live up in these areas right here, and I can't speak for everyone, I can't speak for anybody, I'm just my thoughts. Sometimes I would think that like this drive, if I did it every day, some people really enjoy it and love it. Then other people, it's just, I'm trying to get to point A to B. I'm trying to get to my job and get back home. But not being from this area of Colorado, I do appreciate it because when I come up here, it's just like so beautiful. There's water on one side, there's water on the next side. There's these mountains, there's these cute little towns. It's really relaxing to me to drive this route or route, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's great in regards to that. When you come to my state, I don't own this state. I've been here 20 some years, so I guess I qualify as I've spent a lot of time in Colorado. And I've also, compared to a lot of people I interacted with and worked with that are actually born and raised in Colorado, I've been in a lot more places in Colorado than a lot of people, believe it or not. Because I'm like this, when I made it to the state, Colorado was not my first choice when I got out of the military. I was stationed here, was one of my first duty stations, but I married a young lady that was from here, technically Kansas. She came back here after I got out of the military, and I ended up back in Colorado Springs, ultimately in Denver. But it's a state that I'm glad that I stayed in, because there's other places I thought I wanted to live outside of California. I wanted to live in California, but there's other states I thought I'd want to live in, and after visiting them and being in them and like exploring them, I'm thankful that I didn't. For now, Colorado is still a great state for me, and there's nothing wrong with it. I am looking at moving out of state in a couple more years, more than likely, but it's not because I think Colorado sucks. Do not take it as being that. It's just I've spent over 20 years here. And I was stationed, it was my first duty station. I spent another 20 later on. And then I've explored and explored. Then I want to do some other adventures. And as you see my videos, you see I do different adventures and I go different places. But I want a new state to explore. I want a new state where I can go downtown and, oh man, this is a cool place to eat. Or, oh, wow, I like this place. Oh, wow, look at this waterfall. All this different stuff. Recapture the newness that Colorado had. And Colorado had that newness for 10 years or so for me. But now I've just been a lot of places, and I still enjoy Colorado. So don't think that I'm leaving because I'm looking at moving because I think, oh, this place is horrible. It's this. No, it's not. My kids were raised here. They went to pretty safe schools. It's the quality of life here, and that's something we take for granted, especially around the cities of, I'm talking Colorado Springs, Denver area, Castle Rock, Fort Collins, Boulder, all those places. The quality of life is pretty high for a lot of people. Colorado is a state I would not recommend moving to if you don't have a decent work ethic. If you got a decent work ethic, you'll do okay here. If you're just one of those ones and you don't really have a real good skill set, and there's nothing wrong. Some people are just hard workers. They don't have to say the most advanced skill sets in IT, nursing, whatever like that. No big deal. But if you don't have a sound work ethic behind it, Colorado, especially in the city areas, is not a place to be, because it's just not. And people come out here because, marijuana is legal, all that stuff. And I work in human services and mental health. And I see them coming out here from all these other states. I see people coming from Mississippi, Alabama, all these places, Texas. They come out here and they think they're going to make it. Yeah, you'll survive here possibly because the government's going to step in and help you and hold your hand a little bit. But you'll never thrive. You'll never get to enjoy this. You see this right here is what this state is about. This different stuff like this. You want to whitewater raft, you can, whatever you want to do. It's a beautiful state. But if you come out here, you have a decent work ethic, you have a decent skill set, you'll love Colorado. Especially if you love outdoor stuff. It's not a state where you go just sit on the porch and, drink, iced tea and not do much. You can if you want to, but most people don't. Most people here, young and old, are outdoorsy. We're very outdoorsy out here. We love to get out. We love to hike. We love to see stuff like this. We love to go on these road trips. We love to camp. We love to do things like that. Colorado is one of those states I would not move to if I didn't like outdoor stuff, because it would be so sad. And I have met a few people that came out from other states who had been here 5-6 years living in Denver, had never been anywhere, everyone. Had never been anywhere. Never done anything like this. Never even went on a trip past Colorado Springs. Never been on a hike. And I'm looking, I'm like, why did you come to the state? I'm just going to throw a state out here. They came from Kansas. What was it? Larney, Kansas, I think it was. You came out here from Larney, Kansas. And I've been to Larney. It's a dump. Don't let nobody tell you it's not. It's a dump. It's a typical Midwest smaller city. It's flat. There's not much to do. and you came out to this beautiful state, you haven't been done anything. To me, it felt like I was at a funeral when they were telling me. I felt so bad for them. I was like, and everyone has their personal preference, but I'm like, you're missing out on this stuff. You're missing out on the camping. You're missing out on all the outdoor stuff, the garden of the gods. Whatever you want to do, you can do out here. This is that state. It's one of the reasons Colorado population is one of the healthiest populations in the country. We are one of the healthiest because of stuff like this. The weather can get really hot, but it's not Alabama hot with the humidity and all the bugs in most places. I'll just use Alabama as an example, but you know what I mean. But there's always outdoor stuff to go. You can go up in elevation, go to the mountains, go hang out, go hike, go eat good, go check out these cute little mountain towns. But if you come out here, explore, everyone. Have fun. But for me personally, sometimes it's not even about the destination I'm going to. It's the drive. This right here to me, a lot of times, and this is my personal opinion, is the best antidepressant. Just hopping in my car, literally, and taking off. I did this long drive. It took me 3.5, 4 hours up through Wyoming, back down into Colorado to go to this place. And to me, it's one of the best antidepressants because, God, look at this. It's just relaxing. You're driving. You hear the water. You can stop. You look. I got my dog with me. The destination could have been in the middle of the desert, but this drive was worth it. So this drive, it's, just looking at it, just looking at everything around you. There's not a lot of traffic. There is traffic. If someone wants to speed, I can get over and let them, pass me up. I can just pull off and go check out a stream or look at the water or just sit down and relax for a minute. Just on the drive, everyone. That's just the drive. There's no stress with it. The only thing that was kind of sucked about this example of drive, is I know I was going home in a way, which I love going home, but it was just like, oh, man. It just felt like it ended too quickly because it was just a great drive. It was really good. I had a real great time with me and my dog. And it was only a one day trip. I had to get away. I think I'd worked 6 or 7 days in a row. I probably had one day off. And then I probably worked another 6 days in a row. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a workaholic. I'm one of those type of people. I work really hard when I'm trying to do something. So I know I was coming up on some different events in my life. One is one of my sons is getting out of the military. He's going to be moving to the Pacific Northwest. Cool. So I got to make sure I help him out and make sure he's okay because it's a big deal. I know how it was when I got out of the military, and I didn't have anybody. It was just me. And what I mean, I didn't have no family to give me any, advice, or at least and really any healthy advice. And it's hard. People don't understand how hard it is when you first get out of the military. And you've been in since you were, say, 17, 18 years old. And now all of a sudden it's time to do adult things. And you are an adult in the military. Don't get me wrong. You're dealing with millions of dollars of equipment. But those other adult things you really haven't had to do yet if you didn't live on your own before you went in, such as getting an apartment, getting a place to stay, how to get jobs, stuff like that. So make sure I help him out. And then I'm going to go up there. And so I let the cat out of the bag. I might have said this in another video. I'm going to be going back to Oregon and Washington. I'm going to help him out. But while I'm up there on this next road trip that's probably coming up pretty soon, I'm going to do some more exploring by myself because I'm also going to take that time. I have to re-energize everyone. And a lot of people out there, you understand this. And as I said before, I've spent over 2 decades working in mental health and healthcare. And I have to re-energize every once in a while. I've spent a lot of my life dealing with other people's problems, listening to their problems, dealing with their trauma, and it can be stressful. It can be tiring. It wears you out if you don't take, time for yourself and take care of yourself. And so I take trips, I take off. And really, when I really started focusing on doing stuff like that, it really helped me to get to the point now that I have 22 years in the business that I work in. If I didn't do this type of stuff, I probably wouldn't have made it 4 or 5 years because my job is hard. Depending on especially the physical part, there's the physicality of working in psychiatric facilities. And I'm not a spring chicken anymore. But also, it's more so the mental, and you have to take care of yourself mentally. And this right here, and this is what I love about California. I love about California too, everyone. But I love about Colorado is this. Sometimes it's not the destination for me, everyone. It's just the drive. It's just the drive. It's the same thing when I go to Oregon. It's because Oregon, Washington are new places to me in comparison to a place I've been 20 years. That I missed destinations when I was in Oregon, for example. The same as someone say it was Oregon that moved to Colorado because I was just so busy just driving and just in my own thoughts, but better thoughts, good thoughts, looking, just a beautiful scenery, stuff like that. That I'd drive right past the place, I've been kept going and stuff. So if you come out here, I recommend you come to Colorado. I recommend you check it out. If you're in Colorado and you haven't been up here, you haven't been to a lot of places, get out there and explore. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of living in here, living in states such as this. We only have one life to live. One. And it's what we do in between the time of our birth and the time of our death. What we do, how we explore, what memories we make for ourselves, the enjoyments we find in life, the goals we make for ourselves. Some simple things like this, just a simple drive. Just looking at the video as it's happening and I'm providing this voiceover makes me happy. Just looking at the drive I did, and it still makes me happy. But I can tell you how much it made me happy when I was actually doing it too. And it was just the drive. It wasn't even when I got to camp. We ain't even talking about camping and the fun I had relaxing with my dog and stuff like that. Heck, forget all that. Just this. And I'm thankful that I stuck it out and stayed in Colorado when I had chances to leave back in the day. And I did stick it out. And I'm glad because at that time I wasn't to where I'm at now in regards to my life, career, but also what I've seen. If I'd have left when I wanted to leave back in the day, I'd never seen all this. I never really lived as it was in Colorado. So if you want to come here and be in Colorado, we are an outdoor state. Come here, have fun, check out all our different stuff, hike. People are fairly personable here. Sometimes for some, it can be hard to make friends. I'm not going to sit in here and say I have a ton of friends, but it's also partly the business I work in. I deal with people all day, 10, 12 hours a day. So I don't really hang out with people when I'm outside of work besides my spouse and my child. And I'm not lonely. And the reason I'm not lonely with it is because I spend so much of my days at work interacting. 8 hours in the business I'm in is a lot of talking to people, a lot of crisis management, a lot of that. And that's not even counting me talking to fellow my coworkers and stuff like that, So I get so much interaction with humans that in the type of job I'm in, that I'm all right. I love, this is what I want to do. I want to grab the dog and take off, or my son or whatever, and just take off. I don't want to hang out with a bunch of people on the weekends. I love interacting with people. I love chatting it up and chopping it up with them and stuff like that, and catching people out in these areas on vacation or out doing stuff, and just the mentalities people have when they're exploring. You can see it in their face. You can see it in how they light up when you're talking with someone in a random city that they're exploring too. You see it in their face when you're in Portland and someone's like, "Hey, friend, how you doing? You're not from around here." And I'm not saying in a negative connotation. They're just saying it because you don't look like you're from there, or they haven't seen you before come in their place, and they just start chatting you up, and they give you great stuff, great information. Go check this out. Go do this and do that. And just how you feel interacting with those people at that time. So, but if you want outdoors, you got it here. You want a modern city, you got it. You got a lower crime rate than most major cities in the United States, you got it here. The diversity aspect, because I think maybe I made it in another video, but I'll put this out here too. Depending on where you live in Colorado, it's going to be more diverse. Other places, it's not. Up here, is it diverse? Will I see a lot of people that look like me? No. Will I see people that may look like me? Yes. And the reason I'll see them is because it's a different thing out here. We go places. So there'll be someone on vacation that may look like me or may have a similar background to me somewhat or whatever. There'll be a variety of people out here camping, hunting even. I don't hunt, but people that hunt, do different things like that. There will always be different people. This is a diverse state. And it's not the type of diversity where you people will stay in their one little town and say, oh, don't go to this town after dark. We are not that state. Historically, have there been cities like that? Yes. They ain't that anymore. And I didn't even know until I read something. So if you're coming from another state, you're coming from a place, you're coming from the South, certain parts of the South, areas like that where it's not very diverse, or if it's really diverse, but everyone lives in their little silos. There's one town for a certain type of people. There's another town for another type of people, and no one really interacts outside of work. This is not the state for you if you want to live like that a lot of times. And if we do have areas like that, don't worry about those areas. No one lives there. There's a reason no one lives there. So, everyone, I want to thank you for watching my videos. Watch out, there's more videos coming out. This is a hobby of mine, but I really like sharing this with people because I hope everyone gets out there and explores wherever you're from. Go check out some new places. It's good for your mental health. It's just good for you. It's always great to just create new memories, seek new adventures, get excited, get out there, have fun, seeking those new adventures, finding new things, interacting with new people. We only have that one life to live. That's one thing I learned working in mental health. We only have one life to live. And sometimes it can be longer or it can be shorter than what we think. But it's the time we do in between our birth and our death that really makes it worth it. Anyway, everyone, have a great day. This is my state of Colorado, just a random drive. This is me going towards Fort Collins, Colorado now. This is Fort Collins, actually, I'm thinking, or on the outskirts of it. Enjoyable drive. It was a great time, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching my videos. And everyone, have a great day and get out there and have some fun. And eat good, but not too good. It's probably advice I need to give myself because, when I'm on vacation, I eat good. But I do walk a lot more. But yeah, isn't that part of vacation? Going checking out new places, people watching, having all the fun and, riding bikes, whatever you do. I love to people watch. I love the weather and all that good stuff and hanging out with people and just looking at the water. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day.